Live from the Score Atlanta television studios in North Atlanta, this is Georgia High School Sports Daily, powered by IBEW Local 613.
It's Friday and we have a great show planned for you today. I'm going to have to look at this list because we have a ton of guests. So real quick, we're going to have Adam Miller on, Centennial's football coach, Holly Oran on, she's Centennial's girls flag football coach. We will have them on for two segments. We'll have Seth Taylor. He's the Appling County Athletic Director. We will talk to him about the launch of their new flag football team. They're one of the, I think, over a dozen new programs. We're going to get into what it took to go through the grant process and what they are intending to do to hit the ground running in that sport. And then we'll have Bran Mills on, that is Loganville's head baseball coach. He's also a flag football coach. So it is a great show. Tons of guests lined up for you for the next hour. But let's go ahead and welcome Najee Wilkins on and talk about some fast break headlines and some news. We have Najee ready? Okay, hanging tight real quick. All right, so just a couple other things. Obviously at scoreatl.com, we've got tons of the latest rankings out there, the classification blogs. I will have one coming up today on track and field. We talked a little bit about the Cobb County Championships yesterday. That was the Marietta boys and then the Pope girls. We'll go a little deeper into it in the fast break headlines. What was interesting about that one, the Pope girls actually won their first ever county championship. We'll look at how they did that. And then a big result out of Fulton County, that was Hughes and Westlake ended up being very competitive. It was very tight in both the boys and girls, but Westlake was able to sweep. The good news for Hughes, though, I guess, Westlake will be in Class 6A, and then Hughes will be in 5A. So I think just how close those two teams are, I think when they go their separate ways in the region and then in state, they both have championship potential. But that was a big test for both of them. Also goes to show just how good Westlake is, because we know how talented Hughes has been in track and field this year. We're still waiting on Najee? Okay, so I'll go ahead and get started with the fast break headlines real quick. Let's start with number one. Langston Hughes standout announces final 5 schools for his recruitment. Langston Hughes' 4-star running back Carson Baker is down to 5 schools in his recruitment. He told On3's Hayes Fawcett. Among the remaining contenders are Clemson, Ohio State, Georgia, South Carolina, and Florida State. That is his final 5. He is the number 187 ranked overall prospect and the number 16 ranked running back in the class of 2026. According to the industry rankings, which is a weighted average that utilizes all 4 major recruiting media companies, he's also the number 25 ranked 2026 player in Georgia. Baker put together a big junior campaign for Langston Hughes in 2024. He rushed for 1,282 yards and 13 touchdowns, averaging nearly 9 yards per rush. According to Max Preps, the Panthers lost to Milton in the Class 5A championship game, finishing the season with a 13-2 record. Hughes was ranked as the number 41 team in the nation and number 6 team in the state. They'll obviously have a new coach next year, but lots of talent returning for that Langston Hughes team. Be a really balanced attack. We'll see what Carson's able to do, but that is going to be his final 5 schools. All right, headline 2, Buford girls tennis wins a thriller over Mill Creek for the region title. All eyes were on Buford freshman Suhani Patel with the Region 8 Class 6A tournament title on the line, and the score deadlocked 2-2 with Mill Creek. The Wolves girls tennis team needed a win from their number 3 singles player, and she delivered. Patel outlasted Mill Creek's Gracie Day for a 7-5 first set victory. She actually lost the second set 1-6 or 6-1, and then took the third set 7-5. Doesn't get closer than that. That gave Buford a breakthrough region title with the 3-2 team victory and ended Mill Creek's 2-year reign as region champs. We have a quote from head coach Leslie Ann Phillips. She said, "I feel like this has been a long time coming. The team has worked very hard. We've really been working on mental toughness this year, and I felt that that's what helped us overcome that hump. I'm just really proud. They all really played their hearts out. It means a lot for our school." So once again, that is Suhani Patel. Not many of these matches come down to line 3 singles. In this one, region title, a must win. And then being able to dust off a 6-1 loss in set 2, very impressive, just the mental toughness that they talked about. She said, "It was stressful, but I don't let it get to my head. I just focus and tell myself to reset and don't think about losing shots, just keep moving on." This is what Patel told the Gwinnett Daily Post. Mill Creek took a 2-0 lead actually in the championship match after powering to wins in the top 2 singles line. Maddie Yang defeated Millavon 6-0, 6-1, dominating the number 1 singles, and Brooklyn Colavito beat Caitlin Palm 6-1, 6-1, number 2 singles. So very dominant right there. Buford even the team score, though, with a double sweep. Number 1 doubles tandem of Millie Patel and Hannah Hinnon claimed 6-0, 6-0 wins over Karis Primpe and Emery Schroer, and the number 2 doubles team of Mary Austin Sapp and Taylor Backham won. They lost the first set 6-3, but then won 6-4, 6-4 over Lee Eichenberger and Nicole Nikolova. The number 2 doubles team's 3-set win kept Buford alive and put all the focus on Patel's match. For a freshman to do that, I'm super proud, said Phillips of the clinching. All right, headline 3, Seconder baseball delivers a walk-off win over Roswell. Julian Brown's walk-off sac fly in the 8th inning gave Seconder a 6-5 victory over Region 7 Class 5A baseball leader Roswell on Wednesday. The Jaguars now 14-9 and then a 9-5 solid region record, rebounded from their 1-0 loss to Roswell on Tuesday, earning the victory the next day. The two teams complete this week's 3-game series. Last night, Seconder trailed 4-2 before forcing extra innings with 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning. Roswell went back up 5-4 in the top of the 8th, but the Jaguars scored twice in the bottom of the inning for the victory. Andrew Carr was 1-for-4 with the double. He had 3 RBIs. Nicholas Fernandez was 2-for-3. He had 2 runs scored and a double. Sam Melanson was 1-for-4 with a triple and an RBI. Jake Mars 2-for-4 with the double. Harry Perkle 1-for-4 with a double and a run scored. And then E.J. Hanna 2 runs, 2 walks, and he was hit by a pitch. So he got on base 4 times to stand out for Seconder. Stephen Byers pitched 1 1/3 of relief for the win, striking out 2 and giving up 1 run on 2 hits. Shia Carnish started on the mound for Seconder and pitched 5 innings with 11 strikeouts. He gave up 3 runs, but just 1 earned on 7 hits and a walk. All right, headline 4, Cedar Shoals Zolma Vadi, let me say this right, hold up. Valdivieso Gutierrez, there we go, hits a career milestone of 100 goals. The junior striker has amassed over 100 career goals in her 3 years with Cedar Shoals on the girls' varsity soccer team. As of April 2nd, she shot at 107 goals in her career, 37 of those coming this season alone, and the number is still rising. The Jaguars are 5-8 overall and 1-4 in Region 8 play with 4 games to go, trying to fight for that playoff spot. She knows that we as a team are very dependent on her, and she always rises to the occasion, said first-year head coach Nick Miller. She does whatever the team needs her to do. Gutierrez, who is 17 now, has been playing soccer for the last 15 years. She never pictured herself getting to where she is today, simply playing at the high school level. So younger Zolma would be quite shocked and proud if she could see the path that she's carved so far in her career. She wasn't even really into soccer until the 8th grade when she began to play club with Athens United. She spent 2 years with AU, then moved to play for the Gwinnett Soccer Academy, and then will return back to Athens United in the summer. To go from not thinking you'd ever play a high school career and then breaking the school's career goal record with a year and some change still to go is a massive jump. She doesn't have any idea what's next for her soccer future. She's still figuring that part out, but where she's at right now is certainly satisfactory enough. She says, "It feels special. I'm really happy I was able to achieve this record." All right, let's get to the track and field. We talked about the Cobb with the Pope girls winning their first one. In the past week, we've witnessed several major county championship meets with Cobb, Fulton, Gwinnett, and Clayton County, to name a few. The amount of teams in each of these meets is a great way to prepare for the upcoming region championships. Those will be around the April 15th through 17th after spring break. And then once the region meets happen. Then we'll have the prelims pretty much a month from today, and then the state championships in early May. Marietta hosted the Cobb County Championships. On the girls' side, Pope defeated Marietta, who was third place, and then McEachern with 107 points. Marietta actually had the lead, I believe, after the first day. This is what Pope head coach Gerard Johnson had to say. He said, "This county is loaded, so anytime you can do anything to get on top is something special and something to be proud of. We've got a lot of great talent and great teams in Cobb County, so I'm just proud of the girls. We've got a great coaching staff that works their tails off, and this is the best group of girls I've ever been around." Some of the names that helped Pope were Lauren Woodall. She earned a first-place finish in the 100-meter hurdles with a 13-second 46 to help fuel the Greyhounds individually. Some other standouts to watch for: Walton's Somto Iguelo and Campbell's Peyton Butler swept both the boys and girls 100 and 200-meter dashes. So that's Somto for Walton won both the sprints. In the distance events, Marietta's Mary Naismith ran the 5th fastest time in state history in the 3,200 meter with a 10-minute 22 seconds, setting a new school record. She also placed first in the 1,600 meter with a sub 5-minute mile on Saturday. Hughes hosted the Fulton County Championships on March 29th. In that event, the Westlake girls and Westlake boys both earned first-place finishes over Hughes, accumulating 100 points, and the boys finishing with 110 points. All right. And then we have headline 6. McEachern is having a bounce-back year on the diamond, a great stretch for them. They have a 14-game win streak and a winning record in region play. It shows just how much the team can improve over the course of the year. After a 2024 season, in which McEachern's team finished 12-18 and last place in Region 3, the Indians find themselves with a 19-5 record this year and a 6-4 mark in Region 3, Class 6A. They're also one victory away from the first 20-win season since 2013. With one region series left to play, which is going to be against Paulding County, McEachern has assured itself a spot in the 6A playoffs with 2 wins and a little help. They could rise as high as the number 2 seed and open the postseason at home. All right, headline 7. John Stutzer is pacing Pope's drive for another baseball championship. He's had an incredible senior season. We saw it on the gridiron in football, where he was leading the state in receiving at one point. He had 27 total touchdowns in his career. This season, he also ran for 713 yards and another 16 touchdowns. But he is going to be playing baseball at the next level. He got interest from Florida State. That is where he's committing to. And then this year, he's batting .426. 15 of his 29 hits have gone for extra bases, including 5 doubles, 4 triples, and 6 home runs. And that speed on the base and the base running is his strength. I'll say real quick, he reminds me of a guy named Billy Burns from Walton. He was our playmaker, played a couple years after me, was our kick returner, running back, one of the fastest guys in the MLB draft, ended up going to the Oakland A's. But John Stutzer, another Cobb County guy that was an explosive playmaker on the football field, but also a big-time baseball prospect. And John Stutzer is someone that could be drafted in the MLB draft, which will be taking place this summer during All-Star Weekend. And then real quick, final headline, Walton snaps a 4-game losing skid with a win over Lovett. This is baseball. Walton lost all 3 games to Etowah, very tough series for them, and then they dropped a game to Hillgrove, but they bounced back with a big 7-3 victory senior night over Lovett to get back in the win column. All right, well, there is our Fast Break headlines. Don't go anywhere. We will catch up with Centennial on the other side.
Great teams are committed, focused on the details, and work hard to be their best. From practice to games, right down to their gear. Your field is a critical part of the game that allows your athletes to showcase their athletic abilities. Sports Turf is committed to bringing your team innovative sports surfaces with unparalleled performance. You bring the vision. Our team brings it to life.
This makes my dad proud. He went through his whole career as an employee. Now I'm the employer, something he didn't achieve.
We are signatory to IBEW and do IBEW people wherever we go that we feel like they are faster and better than any of our competition.
The advantages of being a signatory contractor is you're trained employees. You have unlimited manpower. It allows me to bid on jobs that I ordinarily would not go after.
We celebrate the athletes, the buzzer beaters, the record breakers, the wins. Now, it's time to celebrate the people behind it all. The advice givers, the community shapers, the game changers, the life changers. It's time to celebrate our coaches. Join all of us at BSN Sports and show your coach some love by sharing their story with #ThankYouCoach.
Man, you know how to do this?
Man, I don't even know. I was flipping burgers last week.
Violation, unsportsmanlike conduct, impersonating a craftsman.
Skilled trade unions are well-trained career pros, not part-timers. Construction is a rewarding and lucrative career with the advancement potential, but you have to do it the right way with the right training. Learn how you can be a pro. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
Great teams are committed, focused on the details, and work hard to be their best. From practice to games, right down to their gear. Your field is a critical part of the game that allows your athletes to showcase their athletic abilities. Sports Turf is committed to bringing your team innovative sports surfaces with unparalleled performance. You bring the vision. Our team brings it to life.
Georgia High School Sports Daily is brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 613. Electrify your career.
All right, welcome back to the Georgia High School Sports Daily. Right now we have Adam Miller and Holly Oran on the show representing Centennial. Thank you so much for coming into the studio. I want to start off just by asking you guys about the football field day. I thought this is a very great event that you guys were able to hold on, getting the flag and football involved, and also bringing the youth. So just talk about just what a success that was and how the kids enjoyed it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I think first off, thank you so much for having us on. We're excited to be here and represent Centennial High School. It's a great place. But the field day came about, the one thing with talking with our administration, we believe in building the program the right way. There's a lot of high schools, at least football-wise, are going to, go out there and recruit some players and things like that. But we believe in building it from the ground up, which is kind of was the birthplace of the field day event. And we thought, how do we get more and more young people excited about football? And we wanted to bring football to them. So I was able to contact the principals at our elementary schools. This was the first one that we've done, and I reached out to Coach, and she was completely on board with it as well. And it was great. We had about 15 of our varsity football players and 5 or 6 of our girls go and show up and run through drills and do a bunch of different things with the 4th and 5th graders at Northwood Elementary, and it was awesome. Their excitement, our players' excitement, and just the overall day was a great experience for everyone, I think.
So you guys went to the elementary school. What day was this on?
It was the last Friday, I believe, the 28th.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It was Friday about a week ago, and we went during their PE time, so 4th and 5th grade PE, and we were there for a couple of hours. So we kind of took over their PE time during that day, and we did different stations. So they went through rotations, and they got some time at each station. They did some different fundamental skills for both tackle football and flag football. So obviously some of the skills are important in both, and some of them were for specific to tackle or flag, and we just went through those different skills with the kids, and they had a great time. They loved it.
Yeah, and so this is an elementary school that will eventually feed into Centennial. Coach Miller, you were talking about how a lot of schools recruit. You guys are in Fulton County. That's obviously a challenge. All the coaches in Fulton talk about it, whether it's Milton, Cambridge, Johns Creek, all those. But I mean, how important do you think it is just to be able to connect the elementary school kids with these older high school students that they're looking up to?
Yeah, I think it's so important because a lot of kids in our area, they want to be there one day and they're really not sure how. So I think it's awesome to expose them to our current players who can sit there and kind of set up some mentorships and different things like that with them to show them, hey, this is a possibility if you continue to stay and build and be here in the area. And there's so many great things about Centennial High School, not just football and athletics. I mean, our AV video program, our IB program, there's so many great things about the school that we just try to use football as that bridge to get them there to learn more about it.
And then I want to ask both you guys, what were some of the drills that you guys were able to do? Obviously, these are young kids, but I'm assuming they're also pretty eager to get out there, show their stuff.
Well, the one that we did specifically was about flag pulling. So it was just the fundamentals of flag pulling, teaching the kids how to do it, with the proper techniques for flag pulling. And then, the drill that we actually did was one that we do as a team in our warm-up and in our practices every day. So, just a basic drill that we do every day with the girls at both the JV and the varsity level. And super simple, but basic. And the kids, they loved it. And we do it all the time. And, just learning how to pull flags. And important,
And then,
101.
Yeah, and then talk about just the flag football program, where you kind of see the program at this point, maybe the success you guys have had, and then what are some of the goals for you guys coming up?
So the flag football program at Centennial, but also, I'm sure you all know, and in Georgia in general, has just come so far so fast. This was my second year as a head coach at Centennial, but in the 4 years that we've had flag at Centennial, it's moved from almost a club, where the girls would just kind of walk onto the field and whoever showed up played, to really a very developed program. We have a JV team, we have a varsity team, we're adding another coach this year. We were able to get, a grant through Arthur Blank Foundation to help develop our program even further. So it's really developed into a full varsity sport, and the girls absolutely love it. We're having more and more interest all the time. I just today got an email from the parent of a 7th grader wondering how they can join, and what they can do in the meantime to become more involved in it, and what they can do over the summer. So I'm getting interest all the time from kids in the community.
Yeah, and to that point real quick, you mentioned a JV team. I've heard some other schools have enough interest where they're able to have a JV program. We know how many new schools in the state have the varsity flag, but what is the JV looking like for you guys in terms of the growth in the area?
Well, more and more of the schools in our area have JV teams. In fact, in our specific area, we have, so I have 8 schools in my competitive area, and 7 out of the 8 have a JV team for next year. So it's quite a lot of the schools in our area have JV teams. So, in fact, some of them even have middle school teams. So it's really becoming quite normal. It's a lot of the schools have the programs, and they're being developed, some of them even as far back into their elementary programs, especially with the private schools.
And then for both of you guys, obviously you guys are there. Your players are out there teaching, but did you see any young kids that you're excited about maybe in the future that have those skills now?
For sure.
We had one 4th grade young lady. We had part of our drills. They did an obstacle course and tackled a bag at the end, and I think she hit better than our entire varsity roster. No, it was a blast. The kids had a great time, but no, it was cool because you kind of get some eyes on some younger kids that have some talent, and then with us we have a junior program that's 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Mm-hmm. So we got some of those kids their information, their parents' information, and give them information on our program. And with our middle school lift starting up, it's been a great little boost in our roster size in that junior program.
And then, Coach, have you noticed that with flag football, there's opportunities? I know you have a JV team but young girls to get multiple years of experience playing. Where that first year, it was pretty much brand new for a lot of, but now you're seeing girls that can have multiple years of experience.
Sure. So we have had some people approach us, with some interest about creating a program, sort of a junior nights type program, the way that they have for tackle football, and that's something that we'll certainly look into. It's, it's moving so fast. It's a little difficult to keep up at sometimes, to sort of keep up with the momentum of it all. But there are also some programs available through some of the local parks and recreation, through some local churches. There are programs out there, if parents are interested, they can kind of look it up and find some things, but it's definitely something that we'll look into. You're just trying to kind of keep up with it as it moves so quickly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but we're on it.
Absolutely. All right, well, that's it for this segment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back to talk a little bit more about this upcoming season on the other side.
Georgia High School Sports Daily is presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Transform your future today. And by Smart Local 85. Sheet metal is a smart move.
All right, welcome back to the Georgia High School Sports Daily. We're joined once again by Centennial's football and flag football coach. Over the break, you guys were talking about just the Centennial community in the hallways, just the diverse student body you guys have. Have you both been there for the same amount of time as going into year 3?
So I've been there a little bit longer. I just completed my 3rd year, and actually that's one of the things that attracted me to the school in the first place was the diversity of the student body, and it's something that I see reflected in the flag football team, and that's one of the things that I think is so special about it. It's really the demographics of the school are 100% reflected in the team, and that's a great I think reflection of the school, that the girls work together with that common love for flag and for the sport. So it's something that I really, really love about the team.
Yeah, going into year 3 as well, or year 3 as a football coach, and it's it was one of the things that attracted my family and I was the diversity of Centennial High School. It's not like many schools in the area where everybody's the same. It's more like the real world, which is so awesome. Within our program alone, the other day I was sitting with one of our strength coaches, and we count like 5 different nationalities. All kinds of different backgrounds, religious beliefs. It's been awesome to be a part of, because all those young men come together just like they do in the school building and really, try to accomplish a goal. But it is very, very unique in the sense that it's so diverse that it's a blessing to be around on a daily basis.
Yeah, I mean, that obviously helps with the team building too, just each person having their own sort of different role, having to come together for a common purpose. I want to ask you guys about this scholarship, though. We have it pulled up right here. It's the Centennial High School African American Football Scholarship. Up to $625,000 of college tuition has already been earned. Obviously, academics is huge at Centennial. Also, just talk about what this scholarship has done.
Yeah, so it started, I believe, in 2018. There's an anonymous donor who wanted to make sure that student athletes had an opportunity to go to college no matter what. So they put together a challenge, or not a challenge, but an application process where if an African-American football player has a 90 core GPA, they can earn up to $25,000 per semester in high school. So, times 8 semesters. I'm a PE teacher, not math. That's like $200,000, I believe, they can earn towards their college career. And the cool thing about it is you don't have to go play football. So we have one young man, I believe, is at Cornell, another one's at Pitt, studying to be doctors and lawyers and things like that. And this is just a great way to motivate our current young men in our program and really push Centennial to continue to encourage and have people go above and beyond academically and athletically. So it's been a great thing to be a part of. In this year's class, they absolutely are doing phenomenal with one more semester left.
And then you're talking about just the diversity of the student population. You guys have a lot of multi-sport athletes too. In terms of flag football, what I think is interesting about it, you might have a pass rusher on the team, where in football you can't be like 150 pounds usually being a pass rusher, but in flag football, I mean, you can get girls that are really quick and small. They could play offense, but they might be better suited defensively. What's exciting about that? Just finding the fit where the girls can learn the position, but also feel like that's the right place for them to play.
Well, we have girls who play both sides of the ball, and then we have girls who come in who don't have any knowledge of the sport at all, but they're athletes who pick up sports very quickly. Every year we have a senior who's never played before, who's just a really talented athlete who'll come in and they learn the sport and they learn, they don't know anything about the position. So they'll come in and, they don't really know what positions they might be good at. So they try a lot of things, and then sometimes they're good at multiple different positions. So they tend to be a little flexible, and we tend to be a little flexible with them. But we do have girls that play both sides, and, sometimes they just do a lot of things, and we use them in lots of different places. So.
And then, Coach Miller, just in terms of the football team, when we talk to some of the opponents you guys go up against, they know you guys are a competitive football team, very talented, lots of great athletes. What's kind of the culture like with your team, and just what excites you about this upcoming season?
Yeah, we had a great senior class this past year. 5 young men going on to play college football, 3 of them at Division I level, and 2 at the Division II level. But this upcoming year, we're getting to that point within our growth process as a team where our seniors they'll finish their final leadership class when we get back from spring break and kind of create our main common theme, our culture for the year. We have our base foundations of discipline, effort, and trust that we try to instill in our young men on a daily basis. And then the senior class this year will kind of pick our theme or what they want their mantra to be. So we'll do that when we get back from spring break. But we've got a lot of question marks, but we have some great young men that are really committed to the program. That our all-season program this year with our director of sports performance, Coach Baker, has been second to none. It's been one of the best off seasons I've been a part of, which is exciting because we do have some big question marks to kind of answer this spring going into the summer and the fall. But it's an exciting time, but we're going to have a team, that's going to be based on discipline, effort, and trust. And then I'm sure we'll put out some social media stuff with the theme once they pick it when we get back from spring break.
Certainly. And then obviously you guys are also a team very physical, lots of size, athleticism. Talk about just what has maybe impressed you with the weight room and what you've seen with these kids being able to just get stronger, get faster, and improve.
Yeah, the one thing is our guys have fully committed to the weight room, which can be hard at times, especially at that level where there's, at the high school level where there's a bunch of different distractions. But with the support of our administration, we have all of our football players in one class together, which has been great because we're able to do our academic accountability as well as lift them and push them in the weight room. And we just finished our eccentrics phase in the weight room, where we do things a little bit differently. We rep max them and things like that. And today we'll finish off this chunk of our weight program with our beach body lift. So we'll be in Hawaiian shirts. I almost wore it on the show. I decided not to. But we'll be in Hawaiian shirts and swimsuits this afternoon to try to continue to create that culture. And they have their accountability teams in place right now. They're competing for points. So it's been a great offseason for us. And the weight room is really, really where a team is made. And it's exciting to see the growth of these young men so far.
And then pivoting back to flag football, you're mentioning, I think, the staff is getting some new additions this year. Talk about how that might be something different this year, just more coaches on the sideline, more interactive.
Yeah, so as the team has grown, that we've found the need for an additional coach, an additional position. So we've just had to add an additional position so that we can kind of just have more people to have that JV team a little bit separated from the varsity team, because in the last couple of years we've really had sort of one team that kind of functioned as one single unit, but it's just grown to the point and developed to the point where we really need to have those separated. So we just need an additional coach to be able to manage just the number of girls and the level of play that we have developed over the years.
And then how has flag football, in your eyes, just helped athletics across the board at Centennial, where these girls, they might not be on the same team in other sports, but they're able to bond together, have that excitement, and then a lot of them are multi-sport athletes. But what has it really brought to the table?
It really has brought a lot of the girls together. That, we have girls that play so many different sports. We have girls from volleyball, softball, basketball, soccer, track, and a lot of those girls in that picture, they are from so many different sports. Some of them cheerleaders, they really do play so many different sports. Some of them don't play any other sports, but they come together with flag, and we just have such an amazing time together. And they really are a family together. And, I'm so proud. There's one girl who is the first ever four-year flag football player to graduate from Centennial High School. She is going to go on to study sport management at North Georgia. And we're just so proud of the program and how it's developed and what it's turning into. And it's really very popular. And it's just grown into such an amazing program. And I think it's going to continue to grow.
Absolutely. Well, it's going to be an exciting fall, and I know you guys are going to be busy throughout the rest of the offseason. Thank you so much for coming into the studio. We appreciate it, and go Knights.
Go Knights.
Go Knights.
All right. Well, we will be back on the other side to catch up with Appling County. Don't go anywhere.
We celebrate the athletes, the buzzer beaters, the record breakers, the wins. Now, it's time to celebrate the people behind it all. The advice givers, the community shapers, the game changers, the life changers. It's time to celebrate our coaches. Join all of us at BSN Sports and show your coach some love by sharing their story with #ThankYouCoach.
Dang, where you get this car?
You need to join the union.
The union?
Absolutely. You can get 10 of these.
Union construction workers earn the highest wages with the best benefits and the most protection in the construction industry. Find your career in construction. Go to GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com and start your future today.
A journeyman with Local 85, when you turn out, you can be hitting six figures.
Hey, I have your back, you have my back, we're gonna do this together. We're one for all for one.
College just wasn't for me. Let's look into actual career jobs that wouldn't take college, where I wouldn't, lose money and all that. Instead of losing a lot more money at the end, why not make money and make more money at the end?
What happens after you graduate? Will you go to the next level? Will people have your back in the heat of the battle? Will you still train like a champion in pursuit of greatness? You will when you become an IBEW electrician. Join our team. Visit IBEW613.org.
All right, welcome back to the Georgia High School Sports Daily. Right now, we will be joined by Seth Taylor of Appling County, the athletic director, to talk about their new flag football program. How's it going?
Man, it's going good. How about you?
Doing well. So talk to us just a little bit about Appling County athletics, when you took over the AD position, and then what you've seen so far just with the success.
Well, I've been here my whole life in Appling County. Started out back in 2012 as the middle school athletic director, and then took over here at the high school in January. So our athletic department is definitely on the rise. We were Final Four this year in football, state runners up in softball. Very good basketball program this year. We had 2 new coaches for men's and women's, and had a few qualify for state in wrestling, and baseball is 1 loss in region play this year. So we're pretty proud of our program as a whole right now.
And then you went to Appling County, and then you're taking over, I believe, for Jordan Mullis that you probably worked with. What was that transition?
Here's our football coach, yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
What's that transition been like, and what's your overall thoughts just about the administration in Appling County?
Oh, man, I've known Jordan for a long time, even when we were both middle school ADs for a while. Awesome football coach, awesome guy, cares about the kids, man. We're signing 15 to 18 kids a year for college sports, all across the board. And a lot of that has to do with them pushing our kids out to these college coaches. So they've done an awesome job, and we're going to continue to do that right on.
All right, and now let's talk about the reason we really wanted you to come on, the launch of flag football. You guys have hired Roderick Ringgold to be the inaugural head coach. He's also the girls' varsity head basketball coach. Just talk to us a little bit about Coach Ringgold and how you think he'll do in this role.
So Coach Ringgold, this is his first year here at Appling County, and he was a varsity assistant for football and took over our girls' basketball program. And man, he has turned a program around that, for lack of a better word, it was way down. And man, Coach he's done an awesome job. Got a good relationship with these girls. He's already been in the hall, pumping his flag football up. I've been trying to promote it a little bit. Our softball girls, our volleyball girls, our basketball girls, all these girls they're pumped up about this, and we're ready to see what they can do.
Yeah, and that's interesting. You mentioned softball. They've had a ton of success. Volleyball also. But then he was hands-on, obviously, with the girls' basketball team. What's your thoughts on what this first-year team is going to look like, just where you're going to be getting these girls from?
Well, we're a small school. We've got around 1,000 kids, plus or minus. But we have a tremendous female athletic presence here. We've got some awesome athletes that, we've got our softball program has been good for a while. And those girls, when they step off that softball field, they're going to move right next door over to our flag football facility where we're going to be practicing and jump right in there. And, our coaches know that these girls are wanting to do 2 sports, and it's going to be some logistical, here and there every now and then, but we're really looking forward to it. And these girls are really looking forward to it too.
And then you went to Appleton County. You've been there for a while. I know you guys have had some new facilities introduced. I mean, how much has it changed? And then how helpful is that going to be just with the new sports, with those logistics you talked about, just being able to have the space?
So when we built our new track a few years ago, the infield of it is basically sport field quality. So, our high school football stadium is turf, and we don't want to go in there and be painting all the new lines. So the girls are going to play inside the track over there, and which is very, very good quality Bermuda, and it's going to be a learning curve for this first new year. To be honest with you, just us making sure the girls know the rules, making sure we know how to put on a football game, a softball game, a basketball tournament. We've never really hosted a flag football play date, so it's going to be different for us, but we're going to learn, and we're going to be one of the best.
And then as an AD, I mean, what was that process like, getting the official, I guess, thumbs up that you guys are able to establish a program? What went into that?
Well, when I interviewed for this program, that was one of my big deals. Was I want to try to get flag football. My daughter is a college golfer, and when she was in high school, man, she was like, "Why can't we have football? Why can't we have flag football like everybody else?" And it just didn't make sense. But right now, with the Arthur Blank Foundation giving out this money, that's been a big deal for us, and I know other small programs around the state. We don't have a large tax base here in rural Georgia, but for Arthur Blank Foundation to give us $10,000 to help, buy all this the stuff we have to have for the field. We're going to have to put a school board out there. We're going to have to buy all new uniforms, all the player equipment, everything that goes with this. So it's a big deal to have help from a major foundation like this.
And then as an AD, obviously a lot of these girls are playing other sports. That will be, I guess, a new challenge for them individually, just balancing it all. But as an AD, I mean, how do you see it as the seasons maybe overlapping and how the girls can still play all of them?
Yeah, well, Coach Ringo, we're in the area of flag football with Camden County, Richmond Hill, Brunswick, Glenn Academy, and I think Long County now. And so they've already started working out a schedule where, our first flag football game isn't going to be till mid-November. So that, softball is going to be pretty much almost finished, if not finished. Basketball won't be quite started in full swing yet. So there's going to be a little overlap, and, some of these girls may get a little bit tired and it may start draining on them, but we'll see this first year how it's going to go. So you're talking about the schedule. So does that mean you guys might start a little later than some of the other programs this first year? Yeah. I think that's going to be. I hadn't seen everybody else's schedule, but that's our area. It was right here, but they. I think the week of November 6th or 8th, I think is when we're going to get started, and it'll be every week after that. But and then we'll be through by the completion date, of course. But. And then what's impressed you just with flag football so far, just the overall competitiveness around the state and just how some of the South Georgia teams, I mean, all over, able to really compete and hit the ground running? That's right. About 60 or 70 miles away here, Southeast Bullock, they've won a couple state championships, and some of the smaller programs are even smaller schools than us, Division I schools. We're a 2A school. But there are very successful 1A programs around here, and like I say, with the quality of athletes we have, even especially female athletes, I think we're gonna hit the ground running, and I think we're gonna be successful. And then just give us some insight in what makes Appleton County so successful with their athletics. How have you guys been able to be so good across the board? Well, it starts with our rec programs. We have a tremendous rec program here, from anything from swimming, soccer, softball, especially. Our middle school programs, we start early in the weight room. Our middle school softball girls have won 5 championships in a row. So, Coach Tillman here is our softball coach at the high school. She don't to borrow a phrase from Kirby Smart, she doesn't have to rebuild. She just reloads every year. And it starts here at the high school, awesome weight training program. We got a brand new weight room that's going to be started on this summer. And we build that with Coach Rhodes in the weight room. We've invested a lot of money in our weight room technology wise with the team builder apps and such as that. So it starts early with the middle school programs and builds right on from there through the high school.
And then real quick, talk about just some of the rivalries at Appleton County, some of the big ones that are obviously going to start growing with the introduction of flag.
Yeah. As far as I know right now, I talked to a couple of the ADs in our region. Some of them, and I'm not going to give away what they're planning, but right now, so far in our region, we're the only ones that's going to be doing flag football. So our normal rivals won't be there. So I'm sure with these new rivals, we'll have, with Brunswick, it's 70 miles down the road. Richmond Hill is about 75 the other way. And Long County, now our middle school is in the same conference with Long County. So a lot of our kids know their kids. And they're a lot bigger school than we are. They're close to the military base there in Hinesville, but I think that's going to be probably one of our best rivals as far as flag football goes, probably the Long County, since they're the closest, of course.
Yep, certainly. I know you guys have that culture of winning. They're going to want to come out and have that successful first year. Thank you so much for joining us on the show, and go Pirates.
Yeah, that's right. Anytime. Go Pirates.
All right. So there goes Appleton County. Don't go anywhere, though. We'll be back on the other side with Bran Mills of Loganville. All right, welcome back to Georgia High School Sports Daily. Right now we have Bran Mills on to talk about Loganville baseball. Coach, how's it going?
It's going great. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So I want to ask you just about this year's season in baseball. You guys have had a great run, a busy stretch recently, still perfect in region play. What have you seen so far with your team? How many guys do you have to replace, and how have you guys kept it up?
Well, we lost a lot last year, but fortunately we had a lot of guys that played significant innings for us, and we returned some starters and some guys that, were in a role position last year who've stepped in this year and filled those holes and are doing quite well.
And then how has Loganville been able to just be so consistent and so successful year after year? I mean, how are these guys coming in prepared, just knowing what it's going to take?
Well, we've been very fortunate. It starts with the sub-varsity teams. We have a really great ninth grade coaching staff, and those guys, Andy Sargent and Jackson Jones, they do a phenomenal job with the young guys. And we start those guys, we get eighth graders involved in that. And they really start, they do all the grunt work. They're the ones that are doing most of the work. Those guys kind of work their way up through. You have them playing ninth grade balls, eighth graders and ninth graders. Some play JV that early, and then kind of work their way up. And when we need them to fill in and fill a hole due to graduation, those guys are they're ready. And it's the same with the JV coaching staff. Phenomenal guys there that really invest in the kids and really work to develop them. And I would say that's the one constant. High school baseball, you're always going to have turnover. Graduation is going to hit you every year. But the coaching staff is that's the biggest piece to just being consistent. The varsity coaches been together. This is our 22nd year together as a group. So that's kind of unheard of these days.
And then when we had Cartersville on the show, they were talking about how in their region, they have 7 region opponents. They play the 3-game series against every single one. I think you guys might do double headers typically in your region. Has this year's schedule been different than how you guys normally do it in that sense with the region, the double headers versus 3-game series?
We play each other twice. And now we don't do double headers. We did have one this week because of rainouts and umpire unavailability. So we did a double header this week in a region with the region opponent. But with everybody else, we just do a home and home. And we've been doing that for a good little while now. It's been a long time since we did double headers. But so that shapes up about the same. But it works. We'll play it back to back. So you play the same team. If you play them on Monday, you'll play them on Wednesday. You play them on Friday, you play them on Monday. So that way it kind of, one team's not stacking one good arm up against, everybody. One team's not seeing everybody's number one.
Exactly. And that was one of the things they mentioned. If you do it that way, you could just face the number one every single time. But one of the interesting games this year, really, that I thought was impressive was against Parkview. I feel like you guys played them a lot. It's not that far away, a great program. You guys got a big 13-1 victory. What's that been like, the Loganville versus Parkview rivalry over the years?
Well, you're right. They're right next door. It's a close game. They're a quality opponent. So you got somebody that's a really good team that's right next door. It's an easy travel. So you got to play that one every year. So we look forward to that one. They're, again, like I said, they're a great program. They do a great job. They have good players, and we like to try to. I mean, obviously, we want to play the best competition we can outside of our region, and they're a good opponent for us.
Absolutely, and I think all of their losses before that game had been determined by one run. You guys had a huge win in that department. Real quick, talk a little bit about flag football and just how you've been able to balance that, and what's that like, just having another season to look forward to each school year?
Well, balance, that's a key word there. I'm not real sure I'm balancing it real well. But, yeah, it's been fun. I coached tackle football for years, and this kind of opportunity opened up. And So it does it gives me a little more leeway, a little more flexibility with baseball. But it's fun. It's definitely fun, and it being a fall sport, I could it gives me a little time. Just got to keep going. There's a lot of baseball coaches that do flag football, so that's interesting as well. It's always fun to see those guys and compete in a different arena with them.
Yeah, certainly. And then what are some of the things that you've learned just coaching flag football, just in how the game's played at the high school level, and maybe some of the different strategies you guys face?
Well, I tell you the first thing that jumped out to me is obviously it's girls, and not to say nothing negative about that. My daughter actually plays, and love that aspect of it, getting to be out there and coach her. And but I think just kind of how we go about business with the guys. I think what I've seen is the more we take it serious, the more they lock in on it. And the girls kind of like, hey, pump the brakes, coach. We're getting a little too serious with this. We're out here to have fun and compete. And so that's it's really made me, it's made me really learn to check the pulse of the team and really know kind of where we're at. And so that carries over to baseball. What's the atmosphere in the dugout like? What's the temperature in the locker room? So that kind of makes me a little more aware in that regard.
Certainly, and you guys have had tremendous success in both, obviously. Well, Coach Mills, thank you so much for coming on. You got 6 games left in the regular season. We look forward to that and obviously the playoffs. Thank you so much for joining us today.
I appreciate you having me on.
All right, well, there you have it, that marathon of guests. Great show. We will be back on Monday at noon for another episode. Go to scoreatl.com for more coverage.
Hey, is the power off on this?
I don't know. Just take it off. Safety violation, unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
Beginning the morning you opened your eyes, we spent every waking moment preparing you for the day you'd leave our nest. Whether it's driving to practice or helping with homework, it's all prepared you for, what am I going to be when I grow up? Will you be ready?
After much thought, I made my decision to take my talents to the IBEW Local 613.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers is not simply a job, it's a career. Visit IBEW613.org to begin a new future today.